We do this to remind one another of our shared humanity, to strengthen and build the connections between people, to teach the value of listening, and to weave into the fabric of our culture the understanding that everyone's story matters. At the same time, we are creating an invaluable archive for future generations.
I'm a Colorado boy, and I came to Estes Park in 1931. Of course, I was in the grocery business.
Well, as I guess you all know by this time, I came here in 1900. It's quite a while ago. If you're good at arithmetic, you can probably figure that out.
I came up in 1914 to play at the picture show, Park Theater, for the silent movies, the first year it was built.
First place I ever worked in Estes Park, I helped build the Craig's Hotel in the winter of 1919 and 1920.
In any case, you came right by my place. You remember, right after the stoplight, people always seem to remember Casey and his little train.
I came here because I was a part Indian looking for a job, and I was very poor. When I arrived, I had 4 pennies in my pocket.
I knew, of course, Enos Mills and his brother Joe and Abner Sprague and J.D. Stead and all the other big shots because, as I say, everybody knew everybody else. You knew their saddle horse and their dog. And we were more of a family, kind of a case of one for all and all for the one.
Is there anything else you remember about the Stanleys and visiting them?
Mrs. Stanley and my mother were pretty good friends, and I remember her.
McGregor's, I did know Muriel and her parents, Maud and Donald.
I got to work for the incredible and famous Billy Westbay.
Still miss the horses. The place used to crawl with horses. Marvelous. Probably more horses than people in here in the summer almost.
We would walk down and they were very gracious. They were always very welcoming. Donald was usually out in the fields, very busy.
Big Thompson flood, what I recall most of all is that's the day my son was born. Actually that day I was up in the national park fishing.
There were dozens of those moments that were uplifting, sitting in the Joint Information Center and realizing the person next to you hadn't been home in 3 days, but they were still there helping people and not worrying about themselves at all. Every other phone call that we were getting in the call center in the beginning was an offer of support versus a call for help.
Starbucks got opened fairly quickly after the flood. I think they were open within 10 days. Every morning I would come and outside of our door would be one of their big things of coffee, 10 cups, cream, sugar.
During the rappel, I dropped their haul bag down Field's chimney. We had to rappel down that. I knocked a rock on poor Bill. He got a couple of stitches in his head. And it was a real epic. But I had a real new appreciation for Long's Peak.
That's how I ended up here. I felt connected to this community. But you forget that. When you're in the day-to-day grind of life, you forget how much each of us individually and how all of us as a collective community have affected the lives of people, like I said, around the world. Many times we forget if we don't collect it now, it's not going to be here tomorrow.